Welcome to another chapter of In the Keep podcast. I'm your very own prophet of the drowned god, the Motherload. This show is all about the world of arena first-person shooters, classic FPS games, their legacies, their lineage, and the people who keep that world turning. These are the players, the developers, the streamers, the influencers. It is the will of the drowned god Cathala that our communities band together in her cathedral to frag and give one another into oblivion for all eternity. Mr. Zdravko Marinov is an independent game developer from Bulgaria, and he's currently working on his passion project, which is this neo-retro FPS game called Limitless Hunger. And let me tell you, man, this is exactly the kind of thing that the Keep has got. We're constantly searching for exactly this kind of thing. It's really interesting, FPS game, but it fuses kind of like the styles of Doom and Serious Sam, and also throws some unique touches in, like really, really well thought out levels and boss fights, and it makes it into this really balanced run and gun experience that you're not going to get from most AAA studios these days. This is the kind of stuff that it takes someone with a vision and the ability to execute that vision, and he does it so well. Like, you'll hear him talk about a lot of stuff. This is a pretty long interview, I'm not going to lie, but I think it's well worth your time. It was worth my time, at least. Man, he's just so knowledgeable, and I think you'll really enjoy it. And I think you'll really enjoy the demo, which is free. Right now, it's on his NDDB page. You can check that out in the episode links. I'll have it there for you. And I tried it out, man. It's kid tested. It's Motherload approved. I've very much enjoyed this game. Before we get into it, I do want to say that the music we're using today is from the actual original soundtrack of Limitless Hunger, and it is created by ENLASCUERDAS, which is what you're going to hear in just a couple of seconds, and also after the interview. So, without any further ado, let's get in the Keep with Zdravko Marinov.
So my name is Zdravko Marinov. Probably you can see it on IndieDB. I'm from Bulgaria, and right now I'm developing Limitless Hunger, an FPS shooter. Something on a mashup of Doom and Serious Sam. Trying to make a hybrid between it. Not too fast, but not too slow. Something like that. A retro FPS kind of. With a little bit of a niche on it.
I was using the word like neo retro, like new. It's so weird. It's like an oxymoron, right? Like new.
Oh yeah.
Retro.
Well, because nowadays, if you're making a game, everybody's gonna say, "Oh, you're copying this game. You're making this game." Sure, over the top. So most times you have to actually make a hybrid or something like a little bit more newer to actually divide yourself between some retro FPS and your game. Not only having a graphical update and that's all, and gameplay wise it's gonna be the same. That's why I don't want to copy any other game completely. I want to take a little bit of that, a little bit of this, what I like from that, what I like from this, and hybrid. That's why I like PUBG, and even PUBG, it was an asset flip game. Actually make it out because it was totally a new idea, a hybrid, a survival, pressuring you to actually engage combat. And so people that they like engaging in combat and being forced engaging into combat, which is even stranger. But yeah, that's the only thing. And then after that, of course, Fortnite and etc.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why from now on, industries oh, we're gonna make an MMO, and then they try to copy, let's say, World of Warcraft because it's the most known and just the most known MMORPG, and they try to copy that and they fail. because they're not a huge company, and World of Warcraft, that means Blizzard, didn't start as a huge company and didn't start as an MMO. They started as an RPG, and they evolved after having enough money from like getting from servers and etc. from America to actually expand in AU and etc. And then they made it an MMO more, and just like stuff like that. Like people are just too afraid, like companies and etc., to try something new, and they just bankrupt in the end.
I think that everyone has influences, right? Like every game, every like, musicians or movies, whatever. Like everything has influences, and you take ingredients that you like from different things. Like for instance, in your case, like I'm looking at the screen right now, it's like Doom plus Serious Sam equals Limitless Hunger, right? I mean, there are things about Doom I don't like. And that's hard to say because I love Doom. It's one of my all-time favorite games. There are things about Serious Sam that I absolutely love, and there are things about Serious Sam that I fucking hate. Like, I don't like running backwards the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, you get, but when I played through your demo, it seems like you really have found that sort of balance because the actual combat itself feels more like Doom. You feel very powerful. You feel like you're just running through enemies, but also the enemies all sprint directly towards you and swarm you like it's Serious Sam. And
you're forced to actually jump on them. Like that's why.
Yeah, there's no like just kind of hanging back and being a sniper thus far in Limitless Hunger. It's very much you can't be do like Doom where you just kind of poke your head around a door, like find your enemy, pick them off from a distance. Like they're coming at you, period. Like and they spawn so spontaneously. There was a couple times when I walked up onto the spawn, not realizing it was going to happen so quickly, and they just sprinted like directly into me. It's like almost like they spawned on top of me, and it creates a really exciting experience as opposed to like, Doom was exciting the first time I played it, and sometimes like new WADs could be exciting, but I don't want to play the same maps over and over because I already know what to expect. And it's like okay, in this room I know the monster's going to spawn over there. And then I have this much time to react. In your game, it's like, even if you anticipate it, they're coming at you in droves. And I love that.
Oh, yeah. Like, you're gonna like the new update then. Because monsters are tougher because somebody bitched that they were easier. The one that actually runs at you is faster. So, like, heads up. And mostly, I didn't want to actually give a lot of space to the player. That's why we have those tentacles, that vines or whatever they call them, to actually beat you up if you actually like try to I don't know, try to go out of the map, or just try to like go in a corner and try like to fuck the pathfinding or something.
The tentacles are like when I first started playing it, I didn't think you could kill the tentacles. I just thought I had to avoid them, and it was really.
Oh yeah, most people think like that. I don't know why. Like maybe because Half-Life like just teach you, big monster with tentacles you cannot kill. Well, you need a rocket.
that's good though. That is good because there's always something new to like. Oh, I just realized I could do this.
Yeah, one said like, "Oh, I hate them," and then they said, "Correction, I don't hate them because I can kill them."
Yeah.
But the big ones are a little bit harder just because they're meant to be there more like of a static and just to pressure you towards moving like different directions. Yeah.
I really liked the maps thus far. First of all, because it is linear, but there is exploration to be done. But I don't ever feel like I was lost without a cause at any point. The only frustrating point was when I was trying to gather all the keys to get out of that gate to go to Burger Hell, and then the final key is just sitting right there by the gate, and I didn't realize it. I was like, "What the fuck, man? I can't find this key." Like I thought I had to shoot something, or like I didn't know.
Oh yeah, just a hidden secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like most people, I don't know why, like they don't like that key hunt. Like I kind of seem like I'm kind of skeptical about it too. But it kind of gives a purpose, to the player. Like, oh, you just go there and just stuff, because if you're just running around like arena to arena and you're doing nothing, just shooting and the gate open after that, Like it gives some kind of purpose, but not that much. Like, oh, you're picking up keys. Well, while picking keys, like something may go behind you and fucking kill you.
Mm-hmm.
While searching for keys, maybe you're gonna find some ammo. You're gonna find something else. While if you're in combat, you won't think, oh, I need to get some ammo, and then you're not gonna know where the ammo is. But if you have a key and you have an ammo or like armor or health or anything like that near it, people can say, oh, a key, oh, armor, and then they have a bonus there. If not, they're just gonna like strafe around and try to shoot the enemies or kill them like with a sword or something.
Yeah.
It won't be like logical in that opinion.
It took me a while to realize I could strafe jump and even auto jump in the game too. I just kind of assumed, based on the requisites, like it's like Doom and Serious Sam. I was like, I don't think I could strafe jump, so I didn't really try it until after Burger Hell, when you get to the gate directly after that, when enemies just keep respawning and respawning and respawning, and like I had to adapt at that point. But yeah. I mean, the strafe jump is pretty solid. It was pretty exhausting, like just the amount that I was doing it in a row.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't need like actually to jump that much because it's not based on velocity or like it has gravity and etc. But it's not based on velocity like in Quake or Half-Life or like Bunny Hop and etc. Actually, it's more of a like you can say the bug feature. When you press W and you press D or A or whatever, you're actually having a little bit more momentum, no matter what. Like almost in any game, you're gonna have more momentum.
But yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, because you're actually trying to go two directions, and of course, it's gonna like point into one, like something in between, with a little bit more speed than normal. Like you're gonna say, oh, speed 5, but it's actually gonna be like speed 6 or 7. Even if you max it out, like that means if it's a little bit, even a little bit higher than normal speed, you're gonna go like on 5, but it just overwrites because it's updating every frame. So it doesn't matter, like really, it's actually like just fighting each other.
It's like imagine you're standing on a tile floor and I tell you walk 10 tiles. So you walk straight forward, flat against the tiles 10. You're gonna get there, you'll cover a shorter distance than if you walked diagonally across 10 tiles. And then if the computer is telling it you're moving 1 unit each time, but you're moving diagonally, you will move faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's really complicated. It was like the hardest thing for me to understand when I first started playing Quake, but I mean, it makes perfect sense. And it feels good in the game. Like I said, I was just so exhausted by the end of it because I was like, oh, jeez, man. Like, especially that where the turrets and the angels are just killing, like just overwhelming you right there in that little graveyard area. But
Well, like again, like the projectiles now were faster. Like I always play through like my game before I like, of course, publish it. But because this is the problem, like when you don't have like beta testers, I had to give them to my friends, but I forgot, and there was like no time, and so I was like, oh, let me just speed through it and see some bugs, and I forget that I have a loading in the save system, and then shit like this happens. Doors don't open because like when you load, they were destroyed. Well, most games don't destroy their triggers because after destroying them and loading them, they're not there. You have to restart the whole level then. Like again, you're gonna be there, but you have to restart the whole level. That means going in main menu like most did. And shit like that. Like and that's like was my problem, and I have like a hot fix for everything. And of course, in gameplay wise, because one said, well, I have a multi-button mash like on my mouse, and I just hit that shit, and the pistol becomes a machine gun. And I was like, I forgot about that.
No, it's true. It is absolutely true.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Like I forgot about the like the mouse, and somebody like them DM'd me and said, "Oh, I'm doing some micro shit here, and I made my mouse like click like a machine gun, and your pistol is acting the same." And I was like, "Oh, fuck's sake!" And then somebody said, "Well, you shouldn't be like like forced to actually press every time like your pistol to actually shoot. So I was thinking, well, let me just see like around, and like I was looking because I was like before, I'll make it like Counter-Strike, like you have to press every time. But even there, there is actually like I want to say a fire rate, and only I think on the dual Berettas and Counter-Strike there's not actually like that much of a fire rate. And then I was like, okay, like I'm gonna add on fire rate, and now I add a fire rate, and you can hold your mouse down, and yeah, and everything's gonna be okay. But like it was a hard road going there. On the launch, like the first boss was probably the hardest because every 4 seconds it was spawning for units, like for temperators, as we call them. And people are like, whoa, what should I prioritize, the boss or the enemies, or like lag? I was like, okay, I'm gonna change it up then. And lasers were like a little bit faster. Like the explosives were a little bit faster, and then the spawn was a little bit lower. Then I think I had like kill zone problem. People were getting like lag, like because after you kill a boss, most games have this option to enable a kill zone around you, like or like an area, so it can clear out enemies that you won't see anymore, you won't look at them anymore, or like enemies that are still alive and during the cutscene can kill you, like in mine, because you can actually get killed like if there was no kill zone. Like your camera is gonna go to the fucking like gate, like how it's opening, so it shows, oh, this gate is open, you can go there, and suddenly you're gonna be swarmed around like 4 enemies, and you won't want that. Like nobody wants that.
Okay, so the 3D world that you're playing in is still rendering while the cutscene is going on. Is that what you're saying?
Not really. Like your actual hero is still enabled. That means like his collision, everything like that, and enemies can kill him still.
Okay.
And it's all about rendering, because rendering is one thing, and then pathfinding and etc. And
okay.
And the enemy AI again is another thing. Rendering is just like the 3D models. When you render, like doesn't mean like like if you don't render something, doesn't mean it's not running. Like it's cold and it's not coming to you to kill you.
Okay.
so yeah, and in most cases, yeah, like we're gonna need a kill zone, like because let's say like the tentacles, like in the back, there were a lot difficult, like you saw, and like that takes a lot of processing because your camera is gonna render a lot, even if it's not seeing it, it's gonna render it no matter what. Even if there's a wall there, it's gonna render it, like the behind the wall too. Even if you have like dynamic occlusion, etc., it will render it because it's like a field of view, you can imagine, that renders everything in it, even if there's a wall like in front of it. So like it's gonna take a lot of processing power, GPU power, so you have to like kill them no matter what. You're just wasting, and they're just waste because they're checking if like the player is nearby, like the distance. That's calculation again. So having like one, it's okay, like it's not gonna fuck your FPS, but having like 20, like doing that at the same frame rate and doing it every time, it's just gonna be heavy. So you have to kill them. Like it's just easier.
I mean,
if you're not allowed like to go back, it's easier just for you. If not, yeah. So go on.
No, I was hoping you could kind of get into the plot a little more. Like what
Well,
yeah, like it's kind of vague, which it should be, for this type of game.
for example, yeah.
But so you do talk about it a bit on the NDDB page, or like you battle angels and demons, and then there's clearly like you are a character, and then there's this dark.
Yeah, you're a character.
Yeah.
Well,
Like the
like
black
there's
face
no
ones.
angels still. Like there's the models, of course. There's like the logic and etc. But they're not included in the demo because demo is like kind of the first level of the game where demons invade your world, right? So that's why it's the name. Like the one of my fans suggested, above meets below. That means Earth meets hell, and which I love that name. Like, congrats to that man. So actually, like, what was I about to say? Actually, I forgot.
You were talking
Like
about
the
as above,
story.
so
Yeah, the
below.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story is mostly you're a human. Like in the first couple of seconds, then you sell your soul. Like just a normal thing, right? Normal Monday.
Yeah, at the crossroads.
Robert
Johnson.
And so you actually get powers, you get everything like that. It's gonna be revealed like who this demon is that actually like made the deal with you, etc. And of course, like because you see only demons, you don't see any angels. Like, why would you go to heaven to kill angels? You're gonna go to hell to kill demons. then there's gonna be something interesting that's gonna happen that will force you to go up, than actually below. That's gonna be like revealed later.
Okay.
So yeah, just a little bit of the plot that cannot be revealed right now. You're gonna probably kill like the most powerful being in history.
Cathala or
No,
Cthulhu or something like
wow,
that.
the old gods. I'm saying in history, something that was written,
Okay.
not Lovecraft.
Duly noted. Yeah, I like the way that you've worked the art style into the story. It's like it kind of opens up sort of hell on earth-ish, like you're on Earth, but like clearly like the demons have kind of had control of it for a little bit, enough to kind of terraform things and like take over the burger joints and all that shit. So
Yeah.
I really like the enemy character models as well. Like I kind of looked through them before I played the demo, but as I played it, they started to make sense to me. Like these sexy ladies with the wings, and they they can like shoot hearts at you. The only problem I ran into with that is like I kept thinking that the hearts they were shooting at me were health power ups, and I'd like run into them.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like I used the same model almost like for from the health to that, but like I changed the textures and I added some spikes, so it says a little bit more of a danger to the player. But then I looked at it a little bit more, and then I saw that the spikes are not that like clear. Like even if you look at them like by the side, they're not that big.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, shit, like they're gonna learn. And like that's what you have to expect, like as a game developer. The players are not stupid. They will learn. They need to be punished a little bit. Like that's how it is. Like it's not of a big deal. You have to actually punish them. Like learn from Dark Souls. Like their first game, Demon Souls, was the same shit. Like it wasn't changing anything. Like it was punishing. That's it. And that was like their motto. Like let's punish the player. You're not good enough.
Or it's
So
like
we punish you.
Pavlov.
Fair? Yeah.
Like the kind of learned response thing. That's kind of what you do. You're like you're literally creating your own world that you're the god of, and you have to lead people in the direction you want them to go in.
Yeah, but like you have to always expect like during testing, because let's say me during testing I didn't die even once because I know like everything how it works. But let's say a person that doesn't know how this works, like anything how it works, not even like anything behind the code, let alone like a little bit, like you have to make it clear through animations, through UI, through anything, like everything like that. You have to make it clear to them, like, oh, this is happening or that's happening, or you need to do this. That's why like there's interactions like with the gates. Like if you go near them and they're like still have like keys on them, like you don't have enough keys, it will say like, oh, you need more keys, and it still shines like the red to signature that you need some keys, like you need that much amount of keys.
Right.
It doesn't say, oh, you need 5 keys. You just need to like just count up the locks, how many there are, and you're gonna know.
I wish I'd noticed that. So
Uh,
are you're doing
yeah.
all the artwork yourself, like all the character models, the environments?
I think my girlfriend helped me, like because she wanted to help, then she gave up. That's why you don't work with family and
Yeah.
like anybody, even like friends. It's gonna be a little bit hard. And she worked like, let me see. She helped me with the succubus, like a little bit. Then I finished it. She helped me with the angel again because they're kind of based of the same model, just different hair and different like a little bit body shape. And she helped me with the angel. What else? She helped me with one other, a guardian, let's say, model two. Like she helped me with a lot. She actually made most of the UI, which like I'm really proud of. She actually draws, but she doesn't want to. Like I don't know, it's just complicated for me to understand anymore. And so yeah, like
It's like you have a
most
vision
of the art,
in
yeah,
your head, and she, for someone else to,
yeah, to
especially
see that
someone
vision is
close
a
to
little
you,
bit hard. Yeah,
yeah. So I can see how
everybody
that'd be
has.
frustrating.
Yeah, but she did most of the art, and she had like more of her own thing to do. So like I was nothing against it. Like she could have gone, and I worked on most models. Like most of the demons are mine. Like the big one with the 4 chain guns is mine, of course.
Yeah.
And like most of the models, I did them. Like there's not like a lot of changes or anything like that. Just the UI is my girlfriend, and the succubus is my girlfriend. I don't know, like most of the art it's me, but again, like I need to give her credit.
Of course.
She was there too. I think I have like a couple of wallpapers that my friend did. Not that he did, he edited them. Like I use like the lazy way to make wallpapers. You make a scene, you make like a little bit of an environment, you put up models, you make them pose in some way, and you take a big screenshot. Like you stretch, of course, the screen. You take a big screenshot and you start hiding in Photoshop and etc.
Yeah, like Resident Evil 1, where all the backgrounds are just painted. They're actually flat, but they, are painted to look sort of three
Mm-hmm.
dimensional.
Yeah, like it's like too much like time to actually like I don't know, hire an artist, actually like a real artist. Let's say like Doom art, like their wallpapers, they're for sure made like by hand and like digital. But again, like most of the art nowadays is based off 3D models. That means you make a 3D model of an apple, you draw over the apple, and like most people say that to go above like in the art industry, you actually like art industry is like digital one. You have to actually like use 3D models because it's gonna be easier for you, like a lot of easier, like for references and etc.
Mm.
Even if you hand paint. And yeah, like most of it is like that. But most of the art was mine, and some of it's from my girlfriend.
What about the soundtrack?
Oh, that's one Spanish friend, Escador, or like I'm gonna pronounce his name really fucking bad. Uh, Translation: Man on the Strings, which sounds like Master of Puppets or a guitar man,
Yeah,
and you can guess what it is. A guitar man, of course.
a
So
mariachi.
yeah, and like he has a lot of good tracks. Like I buy most of his music, like let's say like 3 songs, four, and then I was like, well, like 50 or like yeah, €50. Like it's not that much, but still, like it's hefty amount of money, like for an indie like me,
Yeah.
and that's why like I made a Patreon, etc. Like to actually try to fund myself because I asked him, oh well, can I use like more songs in the demo, like only for them? And he was like, oh no problem, like do what you want, and I was like, oh super cool, and I started like using more songs. So like I think in only one environment, and I think it was the graveyard, one track actually repeated itself because I couldn't find like any new. That's why. Uh, so and I didn't want to put like any other one. Like I just wanted to keep it like his artist. That's why like I want to like have only one artist or like two, like mostly
Yeah. So is he
like for the
making
music.
the tracks explicitly for you, or are you kind of like picking
No,
picking from a selection?
yeah, I'm picking his selection, because he's not like, that's the thing. Like most artists, like that I pick up are not like somebody that has like millions of views, or like not even millions. Let's say like 50K, like about. He's not like that. Like the stories of finding him were like pretty interesting. Like finding him before, I was looking through like music in Newgrounds, because that's the way to go. Like you just go there. There's some poor artist. Like no offense taken to anybody. Some poor artist that wants to shine through, and I don't know why he doesn't upload to YouTube, but uploads to Newgrounds, and you're like, oh, well, this is a new track and sounds cool, and you just message him, oh, can I use this music for my game? Yeah, and I'll give you credit or something. And he's like, oh, yeah, no problem.
That's what I do for the podcast music all the time. Like,
yeah, like,
yeah.
yeah, it's always like growing like as a person. Like, oh, you're sure? Well, you're little, so you don't still need money. Like, you cannot like get money, so you're gonna get exposure, of course, and that's how you do it. Like in most cases. And the thing is, like, you cannot go overboard. Like, you cannot just get like 10 artists, or like 10 artists, and having different soundtracks with different people, and actually making OST original soundtrack for your game, and like publishing it, etc. You're gonna want cut of your money. So that's why I'm trying like to work with one person. If like I'm gonna cut money with somebody like for selling like the OST, I want to cut it with only one. I don't want like one to have like 9 soundtracks running, and want to have like one, and both want like, let's say, 5% of the sales of the original soundtrack. Like, it's gonna be stupid, right? And the one deserves less. One deserves like not even 1%. Yeah, like that's why like I'm trying to work like with one artist mostly.
No, it's good synergy, man. Like it's part of what keeps everything about what we're doing here alive is the ability to reach out to someone else who is also talented at something, and and maybe you're like you said, they don't have like a reach yet, but like, hey, you scratch scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, and then we'll both benefit from it. That's excellent. Yeah.
So a little bit of promotion then. Like, if you notice, like on the main screen, like we have like YouTubers, or like YouTubers too. Those like voice actors, like not actually people that played, but if you play the game and if you upload to YouTube, stream, etc., like you will get your icon there with your Twitch or /YouTube or like any social media you want, but social media, not actually promoting your stuff. Like promoting, let's say, I don't know, healthcare or some waffles or whatever, like brand.
Right, but if it's like
talking about like your social media,
I love Limitless Hunger so much, and like that tweet or YouTube video might pop up. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the environment and sort of gameplay.
Yeah.
So you do mention, you talk about Doom, you talk about Serious Sam, and I also noticed you threw in like Duke Nukem 3D as a sort of an influence, or maybe you were just talking about like that era of gaming. But
I'm not sure. Like maybe.
I'm looking at the page right now. It's definitely on here. It actually says Duke Nukem 3D, but
somebody added them. maybe some mods. Like,
so we shouldn't expect like destructible environments or
Well, we can add that like
interactivity.
Not really crazy interactivity, but there will be some. Just working on it because we're working on like the core like
gameplay. Yeah.
Just now we just now changed like a lot of stuff. So like from we being nice to players and being we're not gonna punish you as hard. Oh, we're gonna kill you. Like we're definitely gonna kill you like a couple of times during this demo, no matter what. Like it's not gonna be a bug. It's just gonna be you suck. That's all. And not in a mean way, just like in a learning way. Like because people are like, I learned like the patterns from Dusk or like Blood or whatever. So like this game won't be anything else. And suddenly like you have fucking just Spiky, that's one of the demons, running at Mark 5 with you, and you don't know how to react in that position. And like we actually made them tougher, so you actually use that fucking hook, because I've seen that like really not a lot of people use that hook. Are they afraid to press E or something? I don't know.
I
So
tried
I was
to
like, well,
kind of use it, but it seems like the enemies were coming so fast that
yeah,
by
that's
the
why.
time I
And
actually, yeah,
and I was like, oh, well, okay. So if I make them tougher, that means they're not gonna die from two shots from your fucking pistol. Then you're gonna be forced to use that because it's gonna one shot them, right? And you're gonna prioritize it because there's some like enemies that are faster or more powerful than you, like or more powerful than the other. So you're gonna prioritize big targets for using like your hook, right? Because most people bitch about, oh, you have executions or like special abilities, but you cannot heal. Well, it actually heals you. The weapon actually the sword actually heals you, because like people bitch too much about it, and I want to prioritize like the sword too. Like I want to prioritize any weapon. I want to add a progression system where you can actually trade points, because those points are gonna be like renamed to souls or something like that, and you're gonna earn them from killing, shooting, etc. And actually spend them like on upgrades on your weapons and etc. to actually make them better. And there's gonna be upgrades for like your sword for making like a different weapon. It's gonna be a different weapon with different like stuff in it, like more reach, more lifesteal, etc. More damage, maybe.
yeah. And should
So
we expect the game to be sort of so when you first you start off in the pit and then you kind of platform your way out. Um,
mhm.
then the rest of the game is pretty flat. There's a point where I was trying to like it was near one of those keys. I was trying to jump on top of a house to try to fight the enemies from there, but I couldn't. Should we expect? Should we expect like any more verticality, or will the platforming kind of be reserved for specific
No,
areas?
there will be like more. I was thinking like just the demo, like the first level, probably like it's gonna be changed on the release. It's gonna be like a little bit different, like
Mm-hmm.
still different. Like we're thinking about the sewer area, like around like
That'll make it on
the boss and etc.
Civi's counter. The
Yeah,
sewer counter.
making a serious counter. Yeah, no, I was thinking because it was like before, like firstly, like when I was making the demo, I was like, well, I think like this should be a like sewer area, right? Like not getting the key like from there, like just going all around the corner and getting the key and getting swarmed at, but going in a sewer, getting the key, maybe some puzzle, and then go out and then fight a boss and adding another hour to your gameplay. Yeah, I'm joking, but still, like making it like more diverse, because it's too flat. Like sure, like a little bit too serious Samish, because serious Sam is flat, like in some levels, like really flat. It just, let's say, desert.
Or like Wolfenstein. Even like the Doom mods for Wolfenstein, they try to make them pretty flat. Even still, I mean, there's nothing wrong with flat. I was just kind of curious, like what's your direction? How do you want? It's your game, man. You make it how you want, whatever you like, of course. But
I was thinking like about doing like an uphill, like from the boss, like from the first boss to the second boss, like going uphill and getting swarmed at. But then I realized, well, my models don't rotate like on angles, because that takes a lot of processing power,
mm-hmm.
like my calculations and etc. Like having that like for 40 units, because you're getting swarmed at, it's gonna kill you. Like processor, and it's gonna kill you, but it's probably gonna like fuck it up a little bit, at least. It's gonna drop some frames. And I was like, well, sure, but then like there's like some bugs with Unity. It's not actually a bug, but you need like to change the terrain, because like we use terrains for the tentacle pop up, or like not pop up, but the little thing that has like just red on it where the tentacle sits is just an environmental thing. It's not actually just a model, like a self-let model, like just putting there. It's just a bump from the environment, which is like colored in that specific color, and you just put the tentacle there, and that's your enemy.
Yeah.
You don't need like to have a different like puddle to make that thing, and then like, oh well, then I don't want that puddle, so I have to delete it, or like make a model without it, or shit like that. So like they're just making it easier for us. And like if you're moving it up, like if you move it up, some of the surface area actually becomes like less big or less bumpy and etc. because it has like a set height, and you have to like change it. And if you change the set height, it's gonna change everything, and that means remaking the terrain again and shit like that, because it's not a big terrain. It's not only like one big terrain. It's like little, like three little around there, like three terrains around there that like have the same height, because like they were said, just like the first one has changed height because like you saw like that pit that it was in. That's just a bump in the terrain, like a big bump, of course, in the terrain. And yeah, like that's about it. Like for the terrain, it's gonna not be like linear and flat like that for sure on release.
Awesome. So, is there anything special about the health and armor system? I was kind of too busy getting the shit kicked out of me to really pay attention to it, but so it seems like you just have the big health hearts, and then you have the armor chips.
Well, yeah, we're making it like simple. We're not giving you a number, of course.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
we're giving.
I like that about the weapons too. You never really know how much how many shots you have left.
Yeah, somebody bitched about it. Like I was like, maybe I should add some numbers. Then I looked at it and I was like, no, like it's not about like the numbers and etc. But
I think it adds.
I just like the UI, and yeah, it adds a little bit of to the fear too. Like, oh, I'm gonna run out of ammo, even if I have like probably 10 shots. I'm gonna run out of ammo. It's better for me to search and etc.
Yeah.
Like it can be like just constant fighting and metal music. Sure, like it's good, but you're gonna get you need like that abstract of fear actually put into your mind, so you actually start doing other shits beside like killing stuff, like searching for ammo, etc. Like if not, like you should be just in god mode and you can do like that's it. Like it's stupid. That's why like games have like health and armor like system.
It's like
just to strike fear, to make you like a little bit like try some new stuff, direct you to conserve, to not make you so like risky. Oh, I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna kill them all and I'm not gonna get punished. Oh, this is shit.
Well, for a single player experience, right? It makes perfect sense to not know, because it just makes, like you said, it just makes you have this abstract feeling of like, I don't know how many shots I have left, and you have to kind of move out of the way and go out of your way. It makes perfect sense. It's not like competitive Quake World where like.
Well, yeah, sure. Like, yeah, for competitive, I won't go competitive, and my game won't go competitive. That's for sure. And it won't go multiplayer. I mean, like, probably the only thing that's gonna happen is probably somebody like doing some kind of I don't know, speed run on it.
Yeah.
And bugging the shit out of my game and making me look at the mistakes and then change them, so he gets a new challenge. But those speedrunners can like perfectly do like stuff like frame by frame. So like even if you change a lot of shit, they're gonna probably know how to fuck it up. So like there was somebody like that invested like probably 2 years of their life how to perfectly frame like some kind of Mario Kart jump. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, sure, like if I'm the maker of the game, like I'll be like, oh, like cool, like sure. But if I'm the guy, I probably like would question my sanity first.
I don't
like
know,
perfectly framing something. But it's cool. Like it's cool to watch. It's really cool, and like I can give them grats for that and for what they're doing. Like because they actually like. Oh no, not only those views. Like they're raising for charity. Like that's the main point.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I really like that. But yeah, I won't go competitive. Like I said, I won't go multiplayer. So there's like no real need to add numbers and make this UI even more junky.
Like co-op, is that a possibility?
Co-op, like I don't see it in the story, but like most co-op games, there never is like a manageable story between two people. Yeah. Probably like maybe like that's not sure. Maybe that would be like separate levels or etc. But like not like those original ones, because it won't make any sense. So you play through the game like, let's say Serious Sam, you play through the game like with friends, and you have an afro next to you, and you have Serious Sam next to you, and you have some whatever else next to you, and only one gets like in the cutscene. It's just stupid, kind of like it's. I know, like it's it's co-op. Just add it in. No, it's stupid still. So I prefer like to make new levels, like some new levels, just for co-op, just to make it like more fun for the others.
Yeah, co-op is always fun. Like it's just even if you're not taking it seriously or anything, it's just like we're playing Limitless Hunger together. Like that would be cool. I don't think anybody would bat an eye at the idea of like, yeah, it could be fun. Like they try it, and it just gives it gives people more of an incentive to try it out. Like maybe I was a guy and like I don't know if I want to buy this I'll get it right. Limitless Hunger game, right? I don't know how I feel about it. And then my buddy's like, oh, it's I don't know, $15 on sale right now. I'll pick it up for you and we'll play the co-op and see how you like it. Like that could easily sell someone on the game very quickly. It happens to me all the time. So I don't know, just again, your game, your decision, but something to keep in the back of your, in your back pocket. I wanted to talk a little bit. Go ahead. No, you started.
Go ahead.
No, I insist.
I was gonna say like most people like bunch up their prices like of their game, and then after getting their game sold on probably like G2A, fuck it up and fuck your like business up, because like G2A, of course, like it's probably stealing credit cards, etc. Like I won't like go into the rant of that because there's like years of rant over this, but it just fucks up like developers because you're not giving them directly money at all. You're giving like some Chinese or like some person that like just have a key from giveaway or something like that. Or like there was a huge scam, not a huge scam, but it's still ongoing. Well, oh, I'm a YouTuber, and just like mails you, I'm a YouTuber, like this YouTuber, and you don't know it's verified or not because you don't know the email, and you have to actually verify like somehow. Like you have to go to their YouTube, check if their contact, because not all people put their contact like email there. Check if it's real, like or not, and then like mail them back to etc. Because they're like, oh, I'm a YouTuber and I want to play your game. Can you give me like a key to try it out? And you give them a key, like a Steam key, of course. Like you just upload it like an alpha or whatever, and they have the key. They don't use it, of course. They just sink it in, probably make another account, scam you again, and over, and like there was a statistic that somebody like just tested out and made around $430 a day, like from that. I was like, well, well, shit, like I have to like take measures for that, right? And that's why I don't respond really much to mail like from like just some random YouTuber, or I'm this one and this. Like I want them to verify somehow. I check their YouTube and stuff.
YouTubers are anyway that cover this genre. There's
not. Oh yeah. I know them.
Yeah.
But like if you're gonna promote anything, a game, etc. There was like a way. Like I was reading it about like how to promote without spending zero money on this shit. Like, well, it's not zero because you're gonna probably spend no matter what. Like, some money will be spent no matter what. And like you, just 15 minutes of your day, or like half an hour of your day, every day, you go on YouTube, you type gaming channels or whatever, or channels that do indie games or etc. And you start like just seeing, oh, this guy uploaded a week ago, or this guy uploaded like 3 days ago, or an hour ago, like something like a little bit of span of time. That means they're active. And I had like a couple of subscribers, like I'm not saying 50 or 1,000, like from 3K above, something like that. Because nowadays you can buy subscribers, which is illegal, but people do it. Not illegal, but you can get yourself banned. But people do it. I've seen people with like 4 million subscribers, and they had like 3K views. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's not possible. Like, how can you have so many subscribers and like have 0 views? Like, that's not possible. And then I realized, like, oh, they just bought, like, they're probably rich or something, and they just bought from every single site that like sells subs. Either way, like I said, like 30 minutes of your day, like you just check, and etc. Like if you have they have like a reasonable, like half of their subscriber base at least, or like half or like, well, let's say 1/3 of their subscriber base actually viewing their videos, that means it's not fake. Like it's not just somebody like with thousands of subscribers and just like 0 views. And you start like taking their YouTube like on a list, notepad, whatever you want. And every day you're gonna probably have more than 1,000. And after that, like if you have a demo and etc. release, you start spamming everybody. It's like one after another. And like even if you not everybody is gonna say, oh well, I'll do it. Somebody will.
Right. Yeah.
Like no matter what, somebody will. And especially like with this thing where, oh well, I have like, oh, you want to be like next to other big YouTubers on my game? You want to be on the game coverage on the main screen of the game? Oh well, you can be, and your like your link and etc. can be clicked and they can be. That means it's directed towards you. So you're not just getting your icon there and oh that's it. Well, that's your promotion. You can interact with that icon and you can get somebody redirected to your YouTube channel. So like that's again a promotion. Like I'm wasting 0 money on this. Like I'm doing the code like for oh you press this and it opens your browser. That's why probably like it detects as a virus sometimes. Like that's why people like bitch, because it actually opens a browser, which like most program just Windows Defender will probably say, well, oh it opens something forcibly if you click it, so it probably may be a virus. So use it at your own risk. And some antiviruses which like don't know like basic code will just say, oh that's a virus, that's it. Like block it up. So yeah, like after like uploading it to Steam, probably it's gonna clear it out, like because Steam has their own way like going around and actually fixing their own stuff, and they won't allow like any stuff like that to go through, like just detecting it as a virus.
Yeah. As far as YouTubers go,
yeah, go on.
As far as YouTubers go, I mean, it seems like if you get, I don't know, like Icarus lives, and then like G-Man and Civi, the word would spread from there. Like they're kind of like the trifecta of old school.
Oh yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Like,
it's just gonna be a little bit hard to make them. I've been probably on my tweets. I've been bullying Civi.
Yeah, I mean, I found you like in Civi's Discord, and I was like, you kind of hit me up. But I'm honored you wanted to talk to me at all. Like it's like you talk about.
Yeah, I like just tossed my like game and etc. And I was like, oh, like I have a little bit of free time, like because then I was like, oh, I don't want to code. Like I'm really sick. I don't feel like it, but I always have like motivation for modeling because it just gives me creativity. It gives me freedom. Like I can like just all the demons are from my head and I can just put them in like in a model and then kill them. and I was like, like what should I do? Like I see everybody like doing fan art of Civi. So I can do a model because nobody does a model. I did a model, I did everything like that, and everybody's like, wow, like you should include this in this game. So well, I have to put a little bit of changes then, and I put like a little bit of changes, like updated a little bit the model. And then I made a wallpaper, then I tweeted it, then it got retweeted by him, liked by him. Then I post like a demo, like at the end of the demo trailer, there was like Civi, like just trying to shoot you out of the door. Like it's like I take inspiration, of course, from like Doom Eternal, like Doom 2016, like where the cyber demon just like raises his hand and you raise your BFG, and like that's it, like cutscene over, and and it like gives you like blue balls. And like that was like my point. Like maybe I didn't achieve that because I'm not like a AAA studio. And I do everything on my own, but still, like I like that. And some people are like, oh, this is Civi. Like I like this.
No, I mean he's probably the best reviewer of like FPSs.
Oh yeah, he's a chill guy. Yeah. I like all of them. Like just probably there's a war, like not between them personally, but between their fans.
Of course, yeah.
Like it's funny, like to watch. Oh, this reviewer said this. And my opinion is this. that's a reviewer. That's his opinion.
But
It doesn't matter. Like
they all have different, like
yeah, but
kind of styles.
the thing is, yeah, somebody like follows like a tribe. Oh, whoa, oh, clan leader says this. That means it's this. No, it doesn't mean it's this. We're evolved enough like not to listen to a clan leader. Come on.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's like religion.
But the thing is, there's still young people that will like listen to whatever the YouTubers say or indirectly like say, well, it's his word, like, and that's his command. That means it like it's law. If you go against it, you're going against God, and I'm gonna defend it. And I'm like, well, okay, like sure, but we're all human. We make mistakes. Like people were bitching about G-Man Live, like doing like a bad review on Sigil, I think, yeah. And they're like, etc. And I was like, well, that's his opinion. Like, come on, like that's his opinion. He had this experience through the gameplay. Like, but probably like for a viewer, you need to play it 5 times the game, like, or like not 5, but at least 2 times like the game, and to give your opinion. That's why like reviewers or IGN are so like strange. Let's say, like they just give out like fucking scores for nothing, probably, or give out scores for nothing, like bad scores. I mean, it's just upsetting because people are like, oh, reviewers say this, so that means it's true. Not really. Like, you have to try, or like, yeah, you have to try. That's why I go with the way Serious Sam did, like on their release, not on their release, on their demo. They weren't like, oh, well, we give like, I don't know, just one level that's out of the game. We just make Slice-A-Covert or whatever they call it, where you actually give a single level, maybe the first, maybe the second, maybe the middle, depends on your choice. You give it there, you give the experience towards them, you blue ball them because you're not going to give everything. And they're like, oh, well, that's cool, so I want all of it. and etc. But not giving like just little tech demo of 5 minutes, because most people are like, oh, a demo should be 5 minutes long or like 10 minutes long. Yeah, sure, one of my friends just run through it because he used like that bug with the pistol, but still, you still need like to actually focus on that, to actually give out like, oh, well, that's a cool game, sure, but my approach is not like, oh, well, you do a demo and you do it really short. So if you do it really short, it's gonna like have a lot of impact. And that's for a trailer. Sounds more of a trailer type, like, oh, for 1 minute you like have to grab the attention of the person, sure, but not for the demo. For the demo, I think like you need to actually like have a little bit of more experience in depth, so they can see what the core gameplay is. Well, not the core, because you're not gonna give them everything, but still like part of it.
No, I think that's the way to do it. It's what, like, id Software and Apogee kind of revolutionized in the 90s. Is like, you get the first, I don't know, third of the game for free, and then if you want the rest, you pay full price and you get the whole rest of the game.
Yeah,
like I prefer that model. Like, I've always
they do episodes. I think like you get the first episode and then you need to buy the others. Yeah, that's a cool way. Like, that's a cool way. It's just that like my levels are a little bit like harder, let's say, because I'm focusing on bosses. Like, probably not every, but most of the levels, like, you're gonna have a lot of bosses with different mechanics. You're not gonna like have you have like this amount of bosses and etc. Like, yeah, sure, after like the first level you won't have 3 bosses in a row. Like, in one level. I haven't seen this, never, like, I think in a demo, at least like in my experience, I haven't seen anyone do 3 bosses in a actual demo.
Yeah, it's like some people were saying 5 minutes. Like, I got probably an hour, I want to say, like, just streaming from top to bottom. I got an hour's worth of gameplay. Yeah. I mean, that's with a lot of deaths, but
yeah, we changed the Cerberus a little bit because like people were exploiting it. So I was like, well, if we're gonna run around it like a bitch, we're gonna add an aura, like a fire aura. So if you go around it, you're risking your HP.
No, I did.
Then I did.
I was trying to
Yeah, and
strafe
then
jump and shoot him in the ass the
oh
whole time.
yeah, yeah, that's what people did, and I was like, okay, well then we're gonna lower because our logic is like this. Well, you go near the boss, like to near it, and if the stopping distance of the boss is less or equal to your position, it's gonna stomp the ground, right? So we lowered it a little bit, so it has like a little bit. So the boss is actually gonna pin you if you don't like actually move, and then it's gonna stomp on you. So and the stomp is gonna be a little bit slower, like even because there's phases, like first phase and second phase. Like most bosses have two phases for me, where like the second phase is faster. If you've seen, it's a lot faster, like because it claps and it almost instantly just fires it up and you're dead, or like it takes like a huge amount of your HP. You have like that gap of the animation only, and I was like, well, that seems unfair. Like so, I'm gonna add an aura so people cannot like just strafe around him, and they're gonna get their ass beat if they do that. And I'm gonna make them actually try distance, so you actually like go like away and you shoot him from far away while he's coming towards you, spitting out flames. And like you need to like actually like go around him, but not too close to him because you're gonna get fucked up, and then probably he's gonna clap the ground and fuck you up and shit like that. And then after phase 2, he's gonna get faster. That means he's gonna move faster, rotation faster. Everything is gonna be like a lot faster. I've beat it, not to exploit, so everybody can beat this.
No, I really enjoyed aspects of all of the boss fights thus far.
Uh,
And it's clear that you have a background in games that aren't just, the kind of, if you go back and play Wolfenstein, every boss is exactly the same, pretty much. Like
yeah,
you just kind of like dodge around some shelves and shoot them until they're dead.
yeah,
Even
just like
even Doom, like
yeah.
the Cyber Demon, it ultimately
Mhm.
comes down to you kind of memorize its attacks. But you're in Limitless Hunger, each of the three bosses that I faced had very different mechanics. It's almost like The Witcher or Dark Souls, how you kind of have to learn, each enemy's habits.
Well, just like Dark Souls, we have a little bit of randomness. So the second boss, like it has pathways, right?
Yeah.
And they're like positions. So just imagine dots, like 6 dots on the ground and 6 like up in the air, and those positions like are like where the boss will go, and it's randomly chosen every time. So is the ground, like where it explodes. It's randomly chosen, so you cannot just it's gonna be there next time or it's gonna be there next time, and I'm gonna predict. So like sure a little bit fucks up like the speedrunners, but but I'm not like solely on that. I'm solely of I'm gonna redo the game and suddenly like it's not the same. Like it's not gonna be on the same ground. Like yeah, probably you're gonna learn that like you don't have like you cannot stand still in this game. Like you can't. Like that's the main thing. You cannot like in most games. You
Yeah.
can't just stay in one place or like go around corners because we're not like Doom. Doom likes to make their enemies sit in one place and have little to none halfway, or like a couple of enemies to actually run. Not the new Doom or the 2016. I'm talking about the old
Yeah, yeah,
ones.
yeah.
They don't. They have halfways, but they're not too many. That means there's not like a patrol going around or something like that. Not that we have a patrol, but enemy spawns, enemy chases. That's it. Until you're dead or you kill them. Like it's your choice. And like it in the game, I've chosen like a little bit of a tight space, so you're gonna be like, oh well, can I jump over them? Because in most games you can probably jump on enemies, but it's gonna be strange. It's gonna feel strange probably for some people. Just jumping on like let's say a Nazi's head, like it's strange. uh, and like so like you can jump on their heads and then overthrow them and go around. Yeah, sure you cannot stay on their heads because you're gonna get squashed and beefed up into little munches. But you can actually jump over them or like on top of them and then jump again and go on the other side. So suddenly you're behind them and you can actually like and you have more distance and you can actually like start treating them and you have more like space created.
Yeah,
And
having
not
that
getting like yeah.
Having that dynamic movement would really add a lot to it because it's most FPS games like this you're just kind of level to the ground. Maybe you can jump a bit, but you're really just especially serious, Sam. You're just limited to
Oh yeah.
shooting at the enemy is the only way that you're going to be able to get them to go down. Whereas like
The thing.
having more tactical movement, even like Dusk is a perfect example because you could just fly around them in that game, but
Oh yeah.
reposition yourself. I think that's pretty huge, especially if you want to talk about boss fights, like having that ability to kind of if you could climb on bosses or like use the
Oh yeah.
terrain.
That's gonna be a lot of things. Like
Yeah,
use like a movement and for the bosses, but I focus a lot on bosses too, like not only on enemies because
of course.
bosses should be entertaining. Like it shouldn't be like just like I've played a lot of MMOs, so I a lot of games like different types of games. So I know actually like now that I have just studied them and just stayed there like for years. So what does this boss do? No, I just take some ideas like they're cool and I understand that like you cannot just have a boss that spits at you and has a lot of HP and that's it. Like come on, like you have to make it more dynamic, more fear, more just more speed maybe. Making it more fight maybe just like the second boss, you cannot like just stand still because you're gonna get shredded. On the first boss, you cannot stand still because the enemies chase you, and so on. And you have like lasers and etc. like shooting at you. Again, you cannot stand still, and like that's the core thing. But again, like the bosses should be entertaining because I see bosses like in most games were just like just is a thing to have there. Like maybe just making let's say a normal enemy just a little bit bigger and putting him a special UI bar and calling him something special and that's it. Let's say I think on one of your podcasts I because I listen to them you said like the dusk like is good. Yeah, I agree. And you said that the bosses like are a little bit like not so like cool. Like they're just simple, too simple, and maybe not too easy, but still simple. And like I kind of agree like with them, but I haven't played Dusk much to say like all bosses are like that.
Now they're
Just
different.
maybe
There's several different ones,
yeah.
and they do implement more. I think the final boss is probably the one I was talking about because
Mm-hmm.
not Nyarlathotep, but the guy that you fight before you get to Nyarlathotep. I can't even remember his name right now. I feel like an asshole, but he's just
No.
he's just basically you, right? He has all the same powers you do, which is neat. It's the
Well,
first time you encounter that in the game, but it's like, yeah, I know what I know what he's capable of. Whereas
no,
with
yeah.
the actual final boss, you kind of have to like jump across platforms and dodges that he's got different projectiles, and you can't even really hurt him. You have to figure out that you have to shoot the ceiling to get light on him to do damage to him, and like, I thought
Mm.
that was fantastic.
Those kind of mechanics are like really cool, like
Yeah.
interactables. Like you have to interact first with something to make it damageable or something like that. Or like it has a shield so you need to interact with something or like shoot it with something special to actually like fuck up that shield. We were thinking about doing that with the Cerberus. We're thinking about adding a shield and having tanks.
Oh, I
Like
know what
really
you need to
having
do with Cerberus. Okay, hear me out. I
yeah.
know you have voice actors already, but if you could get Mike Myers to just do Fat Bastard's voice, saying like "Come here, I'm gonna eat you" as Cerberus, that's all I could think about after I got off. Like I logged off of Twitch and then I just sat there and I was like, Cerberus kind of reminds me of Fat Bastard. He's big, he's too big, he's too bulky, he's depressed. He's like
He's depressed.
I'm unhappy because I eat and I eat because I'm unhappy kind of thing.
Oh wow. I never heard that my bosses are depressed, but that's in you every day. Yeah, but yeah, like we're gonna probably have voice actors more and more.
Mike
I
Myers,
mean,
he's not that expensive. Come on.
yeah, and so well, we're having like all of bosses so like that are connected like in some way towards the Bible, so we can like a little bit of heads up. Maybe you're gonna guess someday.
Yeah.
So we can have fat bastards and etc. Don't worry. But yeah, like just maybe I've watched like a little bit less of Dusk. That's why like I have or like played a little bit of Dusk. Like Duke Brothers, I think one of the bosses where it's just cultists or whatever they're called.
Yeah, they're just two big cultists. That's it.
The big cultists that I think they have homing projectiles. Maybe I'm not sure even if they have homing projectiles. But yeah, like they're kind of like just that. But I don't like doing that. I don't like just I get my enemy and I make it big. I could have just gotten that chain gunner, I'd say.
It's like
or soul abomination.
It was like you face a cyber demon, and then you face a spider mastermind, and then you face a cyber demon and a cyber mastermind, or two cyber demons, or like come on, guys.
Just stack them together. Just put them together there.
Or what about a really big cyber demon? Like,
clipping through the ground, or not having a head.
I don't know. I think that the 3 boss fights so far, I mean, you got the Fountain of Evil, and then you have the flying bitch with the big ass drum machine gun, which I wanted to say that I really appreciate that her machine gun is not just a straight up hit scan. Like, she seems to have.
That's gonna be so shit. Like, I had skin hand, skins. Skin hit like weapons and etc. Like not weapons, but enemies with weapons. But then I changed it like the soul abomination. That means that one fat bastard with fucking 4 chain guns. It was hit scan, so you can imagine what happened.
No, it would have been terrible. It's the first time I saw it.
You would have been dead. Like you would have been dead. That's all. Sure, you wouldn't be dead, like because you can line of sight him. So like you can you cannot see me. I'm behind an enemy or I'm behind something, so you cannot shoot me. But like with projectiles, like it just I'm gonna say fair towards the players.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna implement any like skin hat. Yeah. I don't know why I'm saying it always skin hat.
I really appreciate skinhead. Skinheads. Those damn skinheads.
Just normal ray casting. Like I'm not gonna implement any enemies that just can. I scan you and I just hit you and that's it. Like that's it. Like you're dead. No, like that's stupid and it's just unfair. Probably fast projectiles, but still projectiles. Just like in CS:GO, like really fast projectiles, but still projectiles. Like not CS:GO, Counter-Strike.
Well, I look at like some of the character models that we haven't actually seen in the game yet or in the demo, and you got this red. I'll call him a Hell Knight for now. I don't know. He's got the Rooney shield. He looks, it reminds me of Quake. But the guy after him, now this one interests me. I'm assuming this is like a heavenly guardian of some kind. I like that you're like, don't tell me what they are. Like I just kind of want to have the mysticism to guess. But he's got 2 shotguns. He looks ripped. He's got a blockhead. Like that guy, I can't wait to figure out what he does. And I like the theme here, that you kind of like it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but it's like these are the the demons of hell or whatever you want to call them, and then the angels. I'm assuming all of these kind of show up in a heavenly sense, but they're like they have a different color scheme, kind of lighter, like silvery, and they're kind of equivalents. Like you have the hell thing with the 4 machine guns, and then you have this guy, like he looks like a fucking alien spaceship with saws coming out of him.
Like he maybe an angel side, like or not angel, heaven side. They're punishing, but in other ways, like let's say like the one, the guardian you were talking about, like he has 2 shotguns, so you can guess what's gonna happen to you.
Right.
Like if you're close, you're gonna be probably shredded. He was a hit scan first, well, of course we changed that because we don't want any hit scans. The big dude, you're gonna see what it is. We're having like air type like enemies too, so don't worry. But like you saw them in the demo, but I don't know why I didn't upload those models into the NDDB. But you probably saw them like in the trailer, like not trailer but teaser, which is shit and made shit. I can at least recognize that, and that's why I learned from it.
Yeah.
And
it's okay.
It just models that were idle. Like people said it, and that was true. Like that. I like to take criticism and not actually and learn from it, and not like. Do you know who's Yandere Dev? Like there's like a Yandere Simulator, where like you're a stalker or something like that, weeb game. Not that
Oh
I
yeah.
have. Yeah. That guy, that game is in development for 5 years. People bitched about it, like bitched about everything because he earns 3K a month to sustain himself, not towards the game, sustain himself. And people bitched that this game is not out still and has a lot of bugs because he is shit at coding. And like there's a lot of bugs and etc. And he reused a lot of assets, and probably now he doesn't because he has the money to actually afford. He responds to every single every single email you send him, no matter what it is. You probably say you shit, and he's gonna respond. And he's not gonna be passive. He's not gonna be passive with me. Like,
Stop
if
responding
somebody
to my
says,
emails and fix your game, asshole. Like,
yeah, if somebody says fix your game, I'm gonna say what's wrong with it. Like, tell me. Like, I want to learn from it. Like, and when you say those words, they cannot say, "Oh, you're a piece of shit." Well, you're gonna sound like stupid guy, right? You're gonna sound stupid, like in front of everybody. Like if I publish this or anywhere, it's stupid. Like, why would you do that? Just if I ask you for your opinion and ask you from my purest heart, and I say, well, I want to learn, so tell me what I did wrong, so I can learn from it and fix it. And he's gonna actually respond as a normal person, and everybody will. That's the way actually to like be passive. Be passive. Sure,
oh yeah,
you're
man.
gonna see this. You're gonna see this, and you're gonna say, "Well, I'm about to drop a bomb on him." But then you think about it, like that's pretty low. Like that's really low. Don't do that.
Man, I don't even
And yeah,
have
like
like I don't have that big of a
uh,
platform or anything, but I love hate mail. It's my favorite. Like nothing makes me happier than someone saying like "fuck you" or "you fucked this up" or "you said this wrong," and I'll just be like, "I love you too. Have a great day."
Uh, well, I always ask, well, come on, tell me what I did wrong so I can learn. Like, come on, man, like work with me.
No, man. If
Don't
somebody's
like
coming to
just
you,
yeah. If somebody's coming to me, come with a reason.
yeah.
Like, if you're just don't be like, oh, you're shit. That's it. And like he's attempting, of course, everybody like that is attempting probably for a response. And like from me, you cannot get that, but probably like from that guy, like I said, the Andre, you can get a response, and that's why people so much bitch about it, and because he responds to every email every day. What does that mean? That means he's wasting more time on email than working on his game. Or like even if you waste like an hour just watching your mail and responding, uh, but if you drop all your load, that means starting to you shit excuse of a life, etc., 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 and just dropping bombs on everybody. It's tiring for your mental health, for everything like that, and it's not gonna like you're doing work. You're not. You're still doing work, so you need to be in condition to do work. You're not superhuman, no matter what. Like lifting or whatever you're doing, like if you're not well in your mental health, you're not gonna do well on like your work, no matter what it is. And like that's what I focus on. Like people give me criticism, no matter what it is, bad, etc., etc., etc. I take it and I change, or like I think about changing it, and I say no. It depends. Like if it really needs to change, like that's where you need to decide, like to not listen like to everybody, and sometimes like listen to your guts, like because you cannot change everything. Like sure, like let's say with this thing with the pistols, it's totally rightful to change, and I think like all the people that said that that I have to change it and etc. And I said, oh okay, well I'm gonna change it. Well then, like because it really seems to be a problem, and it is a problem, like in my opinion, and I change it. But if let's say the movement is not fast enough. Let's say movement is not fast as let's say dusk or quick straight jumping. Like you cannot go like Mark 5.
if you don't, if you want your game to be as fast as Dusk, like I mean, that's ridiculous. You know, it's kind
No,
of like
like
that. Yeah, like that's the whole selling point of Like that's what makes Dusk crazy awesome is that you can move like at the speed of light. But that's
yeah,
not
I
what
don't want to
makes.
move that fast.
Yeah,
Like sure, it's good to move fast like in games and etc. But not that fast. That's why we have a boost. That's why like we change like because I think in your stream you picked up the burger boost, but it was so much of a like how am I gonna say it duration, like a little delay, duration. It was like 20 seconds or something like that. Well, you were listening to the conversation, how I was bitching about you, and instead of actually going in, and your duration was over, and you're like, well, what did I do with this burger? And it was actually a speed boost. You were like moving at Mark 5. And I was like, okay, then I'm gonna change it to 100 seconds.
Yeah,
and then I changed it.
I had no idea. I was just like, I just thought it was hilarious. Like, I didn't realize at all that I got a boost.
So I was like, I need to put more time into it. So like, I said, okay, I'm gonna put it. And I put 100 seconds. That's more than enough. You probably can get halfway through not sewer, but kind of sewer area, junk area, you can say.
Even though I didn't know that was a power up, that was still my favorite part.
Give you HP at least.
Yeah, like no, it was still my favorite part, like of the whole thing. As awesome as everything else was, I was just like, it was such a change of pace because it's so serious leading up to that. You just got done fighting the crazy lady in the church, and and you just get the shotgun, and which is awesome by the way. Like the holy shotgun, like the sound it kind of threw me off because I was expecting like a shotgun sound, but it's kind of like it sounds like machinery. Yeah, but you just
sounds like the chamber. Like you can see, you can actually hear the chamber how it moves.
Yeah,
kind of. But yeah, like I take inspiration from the shotgun from one movie. I forgot the name. How it was like it had a cross shotgun there. It was totally like not like that, like mine, but
Underworld.
It had a scope. I forgot about it, but it was like about some kind of exorcist.
Okay.
Yeah. So. No, not Van Helsing. That's an exorcist. That's a monster hunter. And like he had like a scope on it. I was like, well, this seems like more of a sniper than like a shotgun. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna change it then. I grab it and I change it and I use like a little bit of my touch and etc. And I was like, I like this. Let's use it. Like, let's because I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a traditional shotgun.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, like I don't want a super shotgun or a 2-barrel shotgun. I'm gonna have a super shotgun. Yeah, I'm gonna have a shotgun. I'm not gonna have like 2 shotguns. One you're not gonna use ever just because it has a little bit more of a fire rate. That's why like I want a progression system. That's why I'm gonna implement it. So I can make like, let's say the shotgun is gonna have a bigger fire rate.
Yeah.
So it can be the combination of, let's say, the normal combat shotgun and the super shotgun from Dune. Fast and deadly. Or it can be only deadly, really deadly. it's on your choice. But still, like again, like that's how I want to implement it. I don't want like a secondary shotgun and another because I have too many weapons. I'm gonna have too many abilities, and it's gonna get overwhelming for some people.
Fuck with my scroll wheel, man. Then I have to start.
Yeah, it's not gonna go. It's gonna fuck with your everything.
If your game has more weapons than I can bind keys to, then it's too many weapons. Like I want like Q, E, F, maybe like caps lock. Depending on where you orient yourself on. Some people use like ESDF, but whatever the fucking case. Like I don't want to move my hand too much to be able to select another weapon. So yeah, you got the right track.
Yeah, and most special abilities are like changeable just by one button, so it's gonna be like easier for people. Like I think nowadays they like to do a selection menu like for their weapons, like in Doom, where everything slows down and suddenly you change the weapon.
Fuck.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, but kind of gives away like a lot of the pace. It's something like you just, I'm out of ammo. Now I have to go in slow-mo and change my weapon because I don't have that many keys or I'm too tired to press 9, let's say. And it's just a little bit of a giveaway in that part. Like it's slowing down the combat no matter what, like even if it's a second. Sure, like changing weapons, just wielding them. That means because when you wield them and the animation for wielding is still an animation where you cannot shoot. Here it's a little bit of a throwback, but not that much. Because it's going to be really weird if you just pull, like just something disappears, your sword disappears, and you suddenly pull out of nowhere, like your chain gun, let's say.
Yeah.
and it doesn't have even an animation like how you pick it up like from the ground or whatever. But I picked up on something that people bitched about, and I understand. And I actually, it wasn't in my game, just in other games where you need to press E to equip a weapon. Let's say in Doom, I think it was something like that. And yeah, it had a cool animation where when you inspect the weapon, right? And but people still bitch you like, oh, I want to just run through it and pick it up. And I was like, okay, like it's not a big of a problem. Like it's actually easier for me because that means I don't need to like actually make another ray cast from the camera. And that's just a line that checks for collision, etc. To check if this line is colliding with a weapon, so if it can pick it up. So it was kind of easier for me, and it kind of helps a lot because I don't know, people are still bitching about like just picking up weapons. Well, let's say in modern day shooters like Battlefield 1 or other games, that you have like two weapons and suddenly you're out of ammo, you should you should just like pick it up with E, not just pick it up like go around it.
Yeah.
Like in CS:GO, you just press G and you just throw your weapon to the other side of the continent and pick another from the ground. Even there's like an option to actually disable that, or like not disable but change your weapon after picking it up in CS:GO. And my game, you pick up a weapon and you equip it. So just like in Doom, like in other games, so it's like, oh, you picked up a weapon. We're not gonna like just show you the old one that you equipped. We're gonna the old one like you had it wheeled. We're gonna show you the new one, and you can use it. And that's with special abilities, with everything like that. So you don't need to just strangle around to actually check for your new weapon, etc. Like it just like helps you with the combat and etc. But it can fuck you up probably if we did something wrong. Let's say you pick up a weapon and suddenly like enemies swarm you around, and that weapon is not meant for that. Let's say it's some nail gun, and you have something surrounding you, and you have to like do some splash damage. But I can see like that fucking up, but that's a note I'll take. And yeah, like that's about it in the core gameplay.
So
Just bosses.
you're using the Unity engine. I know a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people fucking hate the Unity engine. I don't know why. I don't understand that any of
Mm.
that stuff enough to really have an opinion. But I know that some
Well,
people don't like it.
it
So.
was most about like it started from Greenlight because Greenlight, it was people had the vote if a game goes into Steam or not, and you know that how that's gonna go. Like everybody knows how that's gonna go. First, your game is gonna be good, or you're gonna pay some Chinese to vote for you. Or you go on Facebook pages, not pages, groups for indie promotions where you know, like that thing they do in YouTube, sub for sub, right? Before it was bannable. They did that with votes, and I'm not joking because my first game was a hack and slash, which didn't succeed, and because it was a little bit of an asset flip, and I didn't want that. Like in the end, because people critic it, and I take the critic and I take down the game because it could have gone into Steam, but I wouldn't be proud of it. It had the same name as this game, but I didn't want it out. It was shit, in my opinion. Even if I wasted like 6 months of it on it, I was still learning. I was still like doing shit like that, and I was in groups like, oh, you just like this page and they like your page, and yeah, like, and you can get out of Greenlight, but there's people that just pay Chinese and they get out, and people just asset flip, just buy an asset like because there is ready to play games made, let's say, and they just have models as placeholders, like let's say just some cube player as a placeholder, and you change it, of course. But they don't do that. They just grab what they have. Let's say they grab that asset, that whole asset for $40. They bitch it out. They just push it through Greenlight. Steam doesn't say anything because it was voted for, so it just pushes it through, and it goes on there, and people bitch about it because it's filled up with shit. That's why they changed to Steam Direct. Not that a lot changed, but still, like, at least it's being reviewed by Steam employees, so we can actually blame the employees and not the people that are stupid and the Chinese, of course. Nothing against them, of course, like, honest work. But still, like, well, it's honest work, bro.
No,
like,
it's
if
true.
you have like,
It is.
if you have like 100 accounts,
Look,
you
man,
just fucking vote for him.
if I lived in a communist country, I'd do whatever I had to do to
Yeah,
survive. Like, I understand.
I wouldn't care to. But it was like that. I just pushed through with fucking bots, and that's it, like that. And my idea was like, oh, my game is not that shit, like it was. And yeah, I was comparing myself to Bacon and Blood, and I was like, well, that game is like really shit. Like the animations are really stiff. They don't have animations for reloading, by the way. Like it's really shit. But it made probably $1 million, like not 1 million, but $500,000, because it was like 99 cents or something like that, and it was promoted by like a lot of YouTubers. But yeah, they just hate Unity because it was easier for people just to create shit. Unlike Unreal, because Unreal is not friendly towards newcomers. You need probably a year to learn everything about it. You're not gonna find everything on forums about it. You're not gonna develop everything towards it because it has a blueprint system which is made for groups, not for a solo indie. It's made for groups, and it's gonna be hard for you. And people cannot asset flip there as much because there's not as many, I think, just asset flips there, and you need to pay a lot of money for them. Just for the models, they're like hyper expensive, like hyper more expensive than Unity, because Unity is like a free platform that actually says, well, if you make above 100K a year, your company or then you pay for Unity Plus. I'm like, okay, like if I have 100K, I wouldn't care paying $40. but Unreal says, no, every 300 sales, you have to give 3% or 5% or whatever it was. And I say, well, that's a little bit of a bitch, like, because you actually need to register your game, register some stuff so they can actually track how much money you're earning, etc. And I was like, that's too much of a bitch to make. Like, I prefer Unity, and not only that, but I've started learning from Unity and etc. That's why I keep going towards Unity. Not anything against it. Like, Dusk was made on Unity. There's a lot of games made on Unity. Cuphead was made on Unity. I don't know. Like, people bitch about like the asset flips. Bitch about the people that do asset flips. Don't bitch about the engine.
Yeah, I agree.
But because people that publish their games and they don't have Unity Plus, just like me, they have made with Unity, and people say, "Oh, well, it's made with Unity, so it's shit." Not really. Like, if I don't have that there, you're gonna say, "Well, it's good." So yeah, like, it's stupid to actually base off your opinion off an engine. Sure, like if you're using Guru engine, sure, like you're bullshitting me. But probably you can make a game on Guru engine if you're good enough and you're experienced enough in the engine. You use it as a base model of an engine, and you, just like Hearthstone used Unity as a base model of the engine. It didn't use everything of it. It used it just as a base to build upon. And yeah, that's how it is. For the first time, fucking Blizzard uses another engine. Fuck's sake. And yeah, like, just people have like that opinion. Oh, Unity means shit games. Well, not really. Just because, like, if Dusk was on Unity, maybe it would be like a little bit spoiled. Like, not spoiled, but a little bit hated by some people. Like maybe, I don't know, Call of Duty fans.
If they tried it, they would shut the fuck up because it's a great
game.
Yeah,
that would try it, but that's the thing. If, let's say, on the trailer of the game it says made with Unity, I bet my like left nut that people will look at it weird if it says made with Unity. A little or more. Like, I was tempted to put made with Unity, but I said like this, it will look like a basic game, like a really basic game towards my, like, sure, my game is not like graphical, like really graphical. Like sure, Dusk is not graphical, but it compensates for its combat and fluidness. While I compensate a little bit with the models and a little bit with the flow of the game, because it's not only shooting; it has special abilities. Like special abilities was one of the last things that I did, like before, like thinking about releasing a demo, because I was like, bro, like combat is too stiff. Like I was sitting there and saying like, okay, I'm not that fast. I'm kind of slow. Like even now that I upgrade like the speed, still I feel slow. And I was like, okay, like how can I make the combat fluid? And I was looking at like Doom Eternal and said, a hook. That's what I need. And I said, well, I'm not gonna pull myself towards it because they're gonna say that's a copy. And I said, well, then I'm gonna pull like Mortal Kombat like towards me, and I'm gonna heal myself. So like, if anything hits me, I'm gonna heal, like no matter what, because people again bitch about it. That well, and rightfully so they bitch, because you cannot just make a glory kill, let's say, and getting damaged and not getting healed or not being invulnerable. It's bullshit. It just hurts the game. Like it makes you not want to use special abilities like this one. Like there will be special abilities like dash and etc., which will be like useful in platforming. But yeah, like we're not going for any climbing mechanics at all. Yeah, like most of it on the topic of Unity, like I was saying, it's just that, like asset flips and green light being a bitch. But now it's Steam Direct, so we can actually say that Steam is the fault if something happens. Still there is like bullshit games that go through, because no matter what, $100 for employees is $100 to get a game out there. So I've seen still asset flips, and I don't think there's gonna be like any change of it. And I said it's good to have asset flips. Why? Because it actually can show you what's a bad game and what's a good game, and it can make mediocre games look good, and can make good games look godlike. So it's kind of like you need the bad to have the good, right? So yeah.
All right, man. I'm all out of questions. So if do you have anything you just want to pass on at the end of the interview? Let people know where they can find you. I'm gonna put your Discord and like the ModDB.
Yeah, you can find me on my Discord. You can find me on my Patreon. You can. What else? Like I don't have a lot of social media to say. Like Discord, the Patreon. You can go on YouTube to see like for anything like that. IndieDB, you can check because that's where I'm gonna upload. But I'll probably like start uploading to Patreon. So it's like early updates for Patreon and then like later updates for IndieDB. So like people actually get interested in Patreon. Yeah, like that's about like Limitless Hunger and about the community around it and the community around Unity. But yeah, just if you go anywhere in like the game dev industry, just you have to actually ignore a lot of people, no matter what, and like do what you have to do.
All right, man.
And that's about it.
Well, it's been
Thank
a real
you for having me.
Pleasure talking to you, dude. Like we went pretty long, but I don't care. Like I feel like you had a lot of useful things to say, and you spoke very well. Educated me on some stuff. So let's get out of here.
Thank you, man.
Later on.
Have a nice day.
You too. that interview with Zdravko Marinov as much as I did, man. He's fucking awesome, and it is such a, like, it's so hard to read his name, but I'm doing my best, man. If I butchered it, and I'm sorry. Let's see. And all of his links, his ModDB page where the demo is and info on the game, his Discord, and his Patreon will be in the episode links for you guys to go check out. Speaking of links, from now on, all In The Keep links, you can just find them on inthekeep.com. That's In The Keep, all one word, .com. And you'll have everything. You'll have the links to all the different podcast networks, whether it be, if you're listening on YouTube, that's cool. If you prefer to listen to an audio version only and just carry it around on your phone, awesome, you can do that. And all the links to like iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and a bajillion other things are on there. You can go check that out. You can also find our Twitter page. You can follow us there if you want to get updates or just hit us up, check us out, all that good stuff. And definitely join the Discord, because that's where all the action is happening, man. The Keep Discord is popping, and we'd love to have you, and we can get you connected to pretty much wherever you want to be in the AFBS community. So please come hang out with us if you would like to. And the support links, we got PayPal, obviously, if you just want to be a fucking angel and just here's a little money, angel money, to, I don't know, like pick up the tab for the month. If you know, like the podcast does cost a little bit for me to produce. And hey, I don't necessarily always want to pay it. It's not much, but I'm just saying if it's self-supporting, it's self-supporting, and that would be great. With that said, Patreon, we did set up a few goals. The first one's going to be $25 a month. So that's essentially what that's the out-of-pocket cost of the podcast. If we can get to that number, which will cover all expenses of the podcast, we will then start producing weekly episodes. So currently, I've just put the episodes out 1st and 15th of each month. I would like to do more. It's just, I got to work and all this kind of stuff. So if we can just cover that cost, it'll really motivate us to produce more of the show, and I can get, I can pay the artist and pay for the mastering cost, all that shit. It is a little bit. It's not too much, but it is a little bit. And the second one, we have a $50 goal, and this is to cover servers. This is for Doom, Quake World, and hopefully when we get the SDK, Dusk World, we'll have some servers up for that too. But in the meantime, we're just setting the goal, and if we do at any point end up having a surplus more than we need for what we're actually producing at the time, any extra money will just go towards the prize pools for our future events, all that good stuff. And speaking of Patreon, I did want to thank Paul and Mitchell, Mr. Paul Mitchell, two different guys, Paul and Mitchell, for donating to the show on Patreon. We really appreciate that, and it's a little bit, but it's every month, and it really does help. So thanks, guys. And the last way that you can support, other than just to go tell your friends, which is fine, that's fine. If you don't have anything to give or you don't want to, you just want to enjoy the ride, that's cool. But please do tell your friends to come check out the show. The last way is the Amazon affiliate link. This doesn't cost you anything extra. It's just if you're going to buy something on Amazon, click on that link first, and then bada bing, bada boom, whatever you end up buying, a little bit goes back to the podcast. And it can literally be anything, guys. I mean, somebody bought snorkeling socks this week, so it could be anything. Any little bit helps. We appreciate it. That's enough pimping out the money bullshit. I hate asking for anything, but it's we want to make this thing the best we can and self-sustaining. So thank you so much if you decide to do that. If you like this podcast, you can go check out some other similar podcasts. There are more than you think, but just name off a few that are currently really active. We got Full Tech Podcast, hosted by my boy Smango. He also runs QuakeFans.net and KentuckyNerd.com. He talks about all things PC gaming and a lot of stuff about AFPS and the tech involved in all of this stuff. He's just an amazing guy. He's so authentic. He's one of my best friends, and I do hope you go check out his show. And the second one being QuakeCast, that's hosted by Dump Truck of the Quake mapping community and RC of the Quake Grave on YouTube. And also recently, JCR has been picking up the slack a little bit. I think RC had something come up or has been busy in his life, but JCR is also doing a great job. So go check them out, man. They have some amazing, amazing guests. It's one of my favorite shows to listen to. Obviously, if you like Quake and you listen to this podcast, why wouldn't you check out the QuakeCast? So definitely do that. And last thing before we get out of here, got some events I want to talk about. Obviously, we have Quake World QH Land 2019, Silkeborg, Denmark, August 29th through September 3rd. Then we have QuakeCon 2019, July 25th through the 29th. I will be there. You will likely be able to pick me out in the crowd because I said so. And feel free to come up and say, hey, man, if you're going to be in the BYOC, man, we want to know who you guys are. We want to see you. We want to hug you. We want to tell you how awesome you are. And vice versa. You know, I'm not proud of it, but I do like to be told I'm awesome. So I think we all do. And say hey to like Unkind will be there, Slip will be there, D-Ron will be there, all the State of Quake guys, and Ease 5000, Brand Flakes, the whole crew. We're all going to be turning up. It's going to be a great time. And I'll probably be recording some podcasts while I'm there, actually. I got the Zoom H4n all set up and ready to go. So it's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. You can also go check out the Duskworld dual pools. These are in the Keep on Saturday nights, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Brand Flakes, the Queen of the Clifftop, the Duchess of Duskworld, is hosting these. And it's just an opportunity to get in there and practice with, with the community. We'll rotate, go round robin. But if you play against Brand Flakes, she's one of the best Duskworld players there is, period. And it's a great time. So join her for those. Also, U.S. Quake community, their weekly schedule is on Discord. I'm not going to try to read it off again this time. It's just like, if you want to play Quake or Doom, you will, any day of the week, man, you'll find somebody to play with, or you'll find some kind of event going on. And with that said, North American players, I would encourage you to keep your eyes out for Manifest Destiny in your near future. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. And with that, I'm going to have a cold one. You guys can always buy me a cold one if you're going to be at QuakeCon. I will, don't roofie me or anything weird like that. But if it's got a cap on it or it's closed, the can is closed, and you want to buy me a beer, or I see the bartender pour it and hand it directly to me, that would be cool. But otherwise, like D-Ron, if you're thinking about roofing my drink, please don't do that. Ease 5000, same thing. Love you guys. Stay in the motherfucking Keep.